And we are live.
Good morning, America.
Hello, America. I am Nico.
I'm Joah.
And I'm Jordan.
Today, we're having our second episode of the podcast. Pretty crazy, I know. Pretty wild, pretty bonkers.
Today is brought by Cherry Coke.
And also Mexican Coke and
What are you drinking,
And
Jordan?
a blue raspberry slush. And a blue raspberry slush.
yeah, it's brought to you by a blue raspberry slush.
I thought you said bladder.
It's brought to you by a bladder slush.
Yes.
So cancel culture, am I right? Amen.
Yeah, you can get canceled for anything these days.
It's crazy.
Do you think it could be a force for good sometimes? Or is it just always bad?
I think it's really opinion based. So I think it really just depends on what they're canceling. Is it on your side or is it on their side, you know?
True. I mean, but can you think of a time when someone's been canceled and you've been like, hey, you know what? That was right.
You're right. Like who was that pedophile who went in jail and supposedly killed himself, but he didn't? Who was
Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer.
I think
Jeffrey Epstein, that's his name.
Yeah. I think Hillary Clinton canceled him.
But now I just feel weird.
I think the government canceled him.
Yeah, I think everyone canceled him. But I was gonna use him as an example.
Right.
Or let's make up a situation here, okay? Let's say the president was a pedophile. All right. But let's say he did a lot of good, and a lot of people focus on the good. But then you have the small group trying to cancel him because he's a pedophile, you know? So, are you with the canceling or no? He's done a lot of good.
I think it's a little bit different, though, because if someone's the leader of your country, you expect a little bit different.
What do you mean?
If he's just a regular person and he's a pedophile, obviously, okay, it's a little different with pedophilia because that's a crime.
That's pretty bad.
You shouldn't be trying to cancel them from a culture perspective. You should be trying to get them in jail.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, the thing about cancel culture is it's opinion based. People cancel people because they have different opinions, and they
right, just like about whole we all got them. Opinions.
Yeah, opinions.
That's exactly what
people have different opinions, and
no, nobody was thinking that. That's the problem, though, is I think cancel culture, if it were used for good, for example, if someone's a pedophile and everyone's trying to get them to go to jail, that's a good thing, right? But to just be well, I'm a liberal and I don't really like conservatives, or I'm a conservative and I don't really like liberals, and cancel someone for that, that's a bad thing. What are you looking for?
I was trying to turn off my phone's sound, but I couldn't find my phone. Anyways, so is it good? Is it bad? I think it depends. Because again, it's very opinion based. So
it is very opinion based.
It can be in your good or it can be in your bad. You know?
I think mostly these matters should be dealt with internally, within the company. But if the company itself is corrupt, then I think
it's not always a company though, you know.
Well, I mean, who employs a person. Mm-hmm. I think if they it should be dealt with internally.
I agree.
For the most part,
it's often industries like musicians. The music industry, there's nobody who's just in charge of music and is just you're fired from being a musician.
Well, what was that one guy that was he's not a musician, but he would lip sync a lot and he's actually a pedophile? What was that guy's name?
I do not know.
I think it's James.
James?
No, not James Charles, but I think it was James something.
James.
I don't know. He's not very popular, but
I do think it's kind of weird, though, the way that cancel culture works, because, you remember the Call Me Carson stuff?
Mm-hmm.
He got canceled for that, and it was bad. But James Charles, I don't know if you heard anything about that, but he did much worse.
Well, like,
And he didn't get canceled.
what
for
did
it.
he do again? Didn't he like try to like force people to be gay or something like that?
No, he was like, if I remember right, he was like sexting 14-year-olds.
Now wait, I'm only asking because I want to know now. Was it boys or girls?
It was boys.
Oh, okay. Well, that's their fault.
That makes
you
it
know.
better.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, I didn't know that.
That's kind of the mentality that people have, though. Like, it's like minorities and oppressed groups somehow have like a pass,
Exactly right.
Yeah.
which I don't think is right.
I wouldn't say so. Let's cancel them.
Yeah, that's not equality if you're giving somebody a pass.
Right.
That's trying to raise them higher.
Mm-hmm.
Or trying to, like, give them, like, kind of a... I can't think
An
of
upper
it.
hand, essentially,
Yeah,
right?
it's
You
like-
know?
Upper hand or a crutch or a
Yeah.
advantage.
We'll let it pass this time.
It's like... It's not treating them as equals at all.
It's elevating them.
If
Right.
anything, it's treating them as lower. Because if you're giving a pass, there's a reason for you to give them that pass.
It's kind of like when you were a kid and you would race like your friends and stuff on foot, but then they'd like let you start 30 seconds ahead.
Yeah. That's not equality. If you want
Right.
to treat someone as an equal,
You're all gonna
treat
start
them-
that race at the same time. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
like you honor them by letting them start at the same time,
Something-
having the same advantages and disadvantages.
What was this? I thought something bit me, but it's just a soda bottle cap.
So, speaking of racism, we went to Lily's today and discovered
yeah.
that Joah is a racist.
No, that's not what happened.
So,
I'm explaining this, alright? Listen, alright. We went to Lily's, it's this Asian market, alright? And, we were like, oh, let's get boba, because they have a boba shop there, right? And then we got, mochi. On our way to get mochi, I was like, I'm scared to be in here. And Nico was like, oh, because there's a bunch of Asians. I was like, no. Because I'm afraid of accidentally, you don't want to accidentally be racist somehow,
But then, in you stating that you didn't want to be accidentally racist,
I
you were
was
being
racist,
you're
yes.
accidentally being racist.
But I wasn't actually being racist. It was just taken out of context,
Yeah.
listeners, if there's a Lily's near you, I highly recommend go there and get boba.
It's
If
highly
if
recommended.
they have boba there, because
And it's not
it
the
could be
type-
like the Walmart McDonald's
That's
type
true.
of
It
situation.
is like a Walmart McDonald's. There's like a little cafe type thing.
Except like nicer,
Lily's.
of course, because it's
Oh,
not
yes.
McDonald's at Walmart.
Yeah.
They have like sandwiches, soups. They got everything, dude.
We get boba there.
Oreos.
It's sick.
Yeah,
It's-
Oreos and cream.
Yeah, boba is a really
Amazing.
good thing to get
Or
there.
cookies and cream, I guess.
Yeah,
Cookies
Oreos and cream, dude.
Oreos and cream. Let's go.
Yeah.
So like they have this like live seafood section, and it's pretty cool. And every time we walk past it, we're like, we want a live crab, and like we're like
Lobster.
lobster. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
No,
lobster.
because there's like the live lobsters in the tank.
And you can buy them live, and we're like, yeah, what if we buy one live and like ask for a leash and like walk it home? Because we walk to like the places. We got cars. We just, anyways. So
We just walk and
Yeah.
then complain while we're walking.
We live in
Yeah.
Arizona, so even in like September, it's really hot.
we're like complaining while we're like, why do we walk? Why do we do this? But then we do it again like the next week.
Which, to be fair,
how it
it wasn't
goes.
as bad this week. Not
Yeah,
nearly
it
as
wasn't
bad.
super bad this
Like,
week.
for a short walk, I think that's a nice temperature.
That was an okay temperature for a walk. It could be a little, not
Like-
colder, but more comfortable,
Yeah, like a little cooler.
Like, maybe if there was a slight breeze. it would be
Yeah.
okay.
I
but-
can see that.
Anyways, we were always like, oh, we should get a leash. And then, like, ask them if they have a leash to go with the lobster so we can walk it home. Because that would be pretty cool, a pet lobster.
That'd be insane.
It would be pretty cool.
What are your guys' opinions on seafood? Are you seafood men?
No, I hate seafood.
I knew you wouldn't be.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
think
really much of a seafood guy myself.
I think you already knew I didn't like seafood, right?
I think I did, but even if I didn't, I would still know. Why is there a mark?
Anyways, never mind.
Joe's just carving into the piano bench with a bottle cap.
This man just carved my piano bench.
Sorry. Get a marker for that, maybe.
It's okay. It's already ugly, so it's fine.
All right, so
It's fine.
like sushi, like seafood is known just for diseases, in my opinion. Okay, so like, what is that? What is that like? What is that animal that people eat from the sea?
Crab, lobster.
No.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Crawfish. It's like, or what is it? It's not crawfish, is it? Shrimp.
Yeah,
not
that's it.
Shrimp. Why can't I think of that?
You were like
Shrimp.
crawfish. I was like, oh, we're not on the same page.
I love shrimp.
Alright, shrimp is nasty.
Shrimp's
alright?
delicious.
I hate shrimp. The only shrimp I've ever liked was I went to this like dinosaur themed restaurant, and they had shrimp there, and I tried it. I like the flavor, but the texture is so nasty. Apparently, it was high quality shrimp. I liked the flavor, hated the texture. It's like the shrimp is like the cockroaches of the sea. Can we agree on that?
No. Why would shrimp be the cockroaches of the sea? I can see like lobster.
No, because it's bigger. That's like the rodent of the sea, you know?
Lobster looks like a giant cockroach.
Kind of does.
Yeah, I guess so. Just more like masculine.
It looks like a giant
Did that make sense?
Masculine. The alpha cockroaches.
Alpha cockroach.
They're kind of like scorpions. They look like scorpions to me.
Just without a stinger.
Yeah.
It's like their stinger is.
You know what? No, you're
amazing.
right. I don't know why, but I was thinking like when you said scorpion, I was thinking of just like a bug. But I remembered what scorpions look like. Scorpions are freaky, man. Who invented that?
Yeah, what the heck?
Like they're freaky and
Who
scary.
invented that? Honestly, I'd take a scorpion over a cockroach, though. I hate cockroaches.
I mean, I don't know.
It depends on how big the scorpion is. Like the bigger ones can be scarier. Like they're very scary, but they're less dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be concerned about like. I don't even know what I'm saying, but like, I would be a bit concerned about health issues because like a cockroach, like if it like crawls on you, it's gross.
It's super gross and it makes you feel nasty.
But if it
ruins my
like
day.
it can't sting you and it
Or
can't.
what about the ones that fly?
Oh, those ones are horrible.
Yeah, those ones are evil.
I've seen a few of those and like they've flown around and I'm like, nah, bro.
Yeah, like I'm hiding in my room.
I'm leaving.
I
Okay,
hate those with a burning passion.
so I used to go to this like I forget what it was called. I was homeschooled my whole life, but we had this thing that we go to once. It was once a week. It was on Wednesdays. And it was called Classical Conversations. All right, and there's this big desert area. There's this grass field where we were allowed to play, but then there's this rocky, quarry area where we weren't allowed to play, but we would. We'd find these massive scorpions, like the size of. I'm American, so I'm not gonna use like measurements. It was like the size of like half of a football. All right, they were massive, not as round, not as thick, but as big as that. Like okay, I have okay sized hands. They were bigger than my hands.
That sounds like an experience,
dude. And they like the black ones are scary,
juicy scorpions.
Cause the black ones get bigger, I'm pretty sure, than like others. Like you never see a big brown one,
Mm-hmm.
Scorpions.
I just sound racist about
thighs.
scorpions. So
Succulent, juicy.
scorpions are freaky, man.
So, anyways, speaking of
Seafood.
y'all ever heard of the pescatarian diet?
I've never heard of that. What is it?
Let me give you guys my screen real quick. Let me see if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it.
I'm pretty sure it's been on this the whole time.
Anyway.
So, the pescatarian diet, basically, they eat fruits, veggies, all this stuff. They're basically vegetarians, but they eat fish. Do you think that makes sense?
Okay, I can see why they do it. Cause like, who cares about sea life?
Exactly.
Cause
nobody cares about
out of
fish.
sight, out of mind. But you see birds every day.
Yeah. But I think like there is a logical argument to be made for vegetarianism. But
this
does
isn't
that
very
still
logical.
carry over to pescatarian? Because that seems a little bit more like an emotional decision. Like I really like cows, but I
mammals.
do not care about fish at all. Like, they can all die
I
as far as I'm
think
concerned.
yes and no. Like, I think it's actually like that sounds like a pretty healthy diet because I mean, if you think about it, seafood is actually very like
It's high in
healthy.
protein. Yeah.
It's very high in protein. There's a lot of like iron. I think there's zinc too. There's a lot of stuff that's good for you in it, right? And a lot of bodybuilders eat mainly like they eat a lot of like
Eat a
what
lot
is
of
that, salmon?
salmon and chicken, I think.
Yeah.
It's like
So-
the main things.
I think it's healthy. I don't get the like I get the logic behind it, but I don't get the actual logic behind it.
Yeah,
You
like
know?
it doesn't make to me. It doesn't make a lot of sense
You're not
to
really
have
saving
like
animals,
those and then cut out other meats.
right? And in
like-
fact, that's kind of animalist,
Because
right?
if
kind of
if we're-
racist, but you know,
if we look at it from a health standpoint, like
it makes
viewpoint,
sense.
like which is what makes most sense to me, it doesn't make sense to me to fully cut out other foods. I can see
Right.
primarily eating like seafood.
But having a
as your
burger
protein?
every now and again is okay. You
Yeah,
know?
and like even then, like eggs, dairy, like that stuff. Like,
That's all okay, right?
I think vegetarianism and pescatarianism both work more as a moral diet than like a health diet because chicken's really good for you. It doesn't make sense to cut that out for health reasons.
it really just seems like a healthy diet, to be honest. I mean, it legit has diet in the name, so.
But
I
they're
mean,
scooping out the whole chicken part.
Yeah,
Chicken's
Yeah.
it's a good meat. I can see getting rid of red meats because those
yeah,
can
those
cause
can be
Yeah.
on.
I can
yeah.
see that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
but chicken.
You know, I used to like wanna like because like tuna is so high in protein. I used to want to like not force feed. That sounds wrong. Now I've seen like self harm. Anyways, no, like when I used to go to the gym a lot, like I would want to like eat tuna, but it looks so nasty and it smelled nasty, but it's so high in protein. It's like $1.50 for a can of tuna. Sometimes $1, and you're getting like 18 grams of 18 grams of protein. It's insane.
Yeah.
Sick. Awesome.
So yeah, no, I mean it's healthy.
Yeah, I guess.
You also get like
Yes.
fish oils technically, right?
I guess.
And that's healthy.
Probably. I just see it as more of a moral thing than a health thing.
Yeah.
But I guess people do it for health. I just don't think makes sense.
I think it's kind of cool. I want to like seafood, I just can't, you know.
Yeah, veganism and pescatarianism is all fine and all, but I think where it becomes a moral issue is when people try to make their pets vegan.
Yeah.
When their pets aren't meant to be vegan. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
Like let's take dogs for example. They're like wolves. Like there's the same family.
Right. They
They're-
need that protein.
They're carnivores. They're not vegetarians. They're not herbivores. They're not even really omnivores. They're carnivores. And then we usually give them some like an omnivore diet as pet owners,
Right.
which is fine. But if you just cut out the meat altogether, then you're kind of changing a naturally carnivore animal into an herbivore, which doesn't really make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't understand it. It's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird.
Because I understand the...
Oh, we're talking about this.
Okay, what are you pointing at? I paid $10 in delivery fee and none of it is for the drivers. So what's the fee for then? That is an interesting idea.
Anyways.
I mean, I think it's for the company.
Anyways.
For gas and stuff.
So, like, well, usually use your personal card. Usually you pay for the gas, I think. Anyways, so guys, we saw a title when we started reading it. But anyways, so I think it's wrong. You can choose to be vegan, but your dog can't. Like, if you hang a vegetable like a carrot in front of a dog and a piece of meat, it's gonna go for the piece of meat every time.
Exactly.
Like my dog Lily, not only my dog, but whatever.
Family dog.
My family dog Lily, she like if she's barking and she gets the zoomies, around 9, at night. It's very annoying. You'll be trying to chill, watch a movie with the family, and then she's over there running around, jumping everywhere. So we'll try and put her outside, but she refuses to go outside sometimes. But if you throw a piece of bologna out there, she runs out and gets it. And she knows that she's going to be trapped out there. So we close it, and she just knows. You know?
But she accepts it because
it's meat.
She gets the meat.
Yeah.
Worth it, 100%. Yeah, it's a moral decision that you can make for yourself to not eat meat. Right. I am personally not a vegetarian because I like meat.
I love meat.
And I don't care that much.
And men? Is that what I heard?
And men?
What?
I love me some meat. And you know what I also like is men.
You said it, not me.
Okay, so our next segment here is we're going to do Reddit 50-50. Don't know if y'all have ever partaken in that.
Ventured out to the 50-50.
But that's what we're going to do. Hopefully the video doesn't freeze up and you just hear us talking about something without knowing what it is.
Screaming and there's nothing to see.
Yeah. But here we go. Let's give you a little shift for it, right? Alright, you guys should see our screen now. It says nug, so let's see what happens. Okay, cool. Nothing happened. Oh.
You have been spinning nugget, and you must repost or you will die in 7 days. Well, that's not evil. I wanted to see something like die.
I wanted to see some death happening. You guys are gonna have to bear with my slow computer. It's just the way that things are gonna be right now.
We're working on a gaming rig right now, a really big one that we're gonna stream on and stuff. So
what?
This is a project Joah didn't tell us about, but he's definitely working on it. Picture of a rotting human brain on a spinning chicken nugget.
What is up with all these spinning chicken nuggets?
It's chicken nuggets.
I hope you guys can see this, because we can't. Not yet. There's a barf picture. You've been tricked.
It just looks a very
looks like
this
a
doesn't
chocolate chip cookie that got messed up.
This is just a human brain. I see those all the time.
Yeah.
I have one actually.
Oh, me too.
It's not rotten yet, but it will be.
Pretty soon after this video's done.
Maybe even before then.
That's an interesting thought to think about, the fact that your brain is gonna rot someday.
Yeah.
Your entire body is gonna decay. It's pretty cool.
Become one with the ground.
Why do these all say spoiler? What are they spoiling? It says I don't know. Are we even on the right subreddit?
I don't know anymore.
There's too many chicken nuggets for this to be okay.
It doesn't want to load.
Show us the picture, please. What if it just doesn't?
Ah. This photo is cursed. As soon as you see this, you only have 1 minute to repost, or he will come after you and kill you with a, what is that?
Within a week.
Within.
It's not within, it's within.
Oh, spooky. I guess we better
2
repost.
words.
I'm not logged in, so. Ha 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 ha.
We will be dying.
No, I'll just have that guy come after us.
I don't think we're in the right subreddit.
Please. I know you go on Reddit a lot. You're a Redditor, right? You look like a Redditor.
Anyway.
You act like a
Wow,
Redditor.
okay. That's a little racist.
You just are a Redditor. It's in your bones.
Is it just 50-50? Is it that one up there?
No, I went to that one.
What is it?
It's just memes.
That's probably what it is. Add a / in the middle.
Oh.
50-50.
I was like, what an interesting suggestion. We're searching.
Yeah, we are. Can they still see our screen?
We'll see. Anyway. is what's your opinion on cannibalism?
Are we just spinning off of stuff right now?
No, I just felt like talking about cannibalism.
I think in the right circumstances, it's okay.
Do you
What
think
are the right circumstances?
if you had to kill someone and eat them to survive, would you on them or would you just die?
It depends. Maybe like 1 week we eat his leg, next week he eats my leg, you know?
That's
You trade
fair.
off.
That's respect right there.
But then again, how are you going to survive? Like we're thinking of like a wilderness type.
You just keep venturing
Yeah.
off. So you don't start with legs. That's dumb. You start with like fingers or something.
No, that's a bad idea. Toes. Nasty, but meaty, and probably high
I
protein.
think if you're in the
I think you start with like
wilderness,
biceps.
you just, instead of doing that, you try to look for food.
That's a good point. Okay, let's say you're trapped in a cement box with one other person, you and someone else. We'll call him Bob. Bob is a loving man. He has a big family, and he barely makes enough to support them, but he tries his best. All right. Now Bob is very meaty, and you are very hungry, and they have not. The gods of this box have not fed you in 10 weeks. Now you should be dead, but you're not. But you're very hungry. You're close to death. And Bob says one of us must go.
Bob's looking extra juicy today.
And Bob's looking extra juicy, extra mega thick.
Extra thick.
So here's the thing, like, Bob's probably already having a sad life. You know.
True. He
He
has a
already-
wife. True.
You know,
Wife and kids. He's already chained up.
exactly.
Imagine
Why
getting
not
married.
why not get rid of it? You know, like.
Why not? I see
'Cause-
literally no reason not to eat.
Now, for the box theory, I would get rid of their legs first. If they nominated themselves to die, they're like, yeah, just kill me, eat me, right? You don't want to kill them right away.
Fair enough. Fair
That's
enough.
true.
I got you.
Like, all right, I'll eat you, but I don't want to kill you right away. I'm gonna start with your
Because
legs.
then once they're dead, they start decaying.
Right.
Yeah,
And you
you're
can't
right.
eat
So-
all of them at once. You can even
Exactly.
feed some of them to
Wanna keep
them,
them
to
living.
keep them going. You
True.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
here.
take a bite of your leg.
know? Talk about recycling.
Yeah. Reuse, renew, recycle.
No, there aren't. You know, I think that's okay. I think to that extent, it's okay. But it has to be last resort. Like if you have a cat lying around somewhere, eat the cat. You know.
Have you guys heard of Cannibal Island? Cannibal Island?
Dude, I have heard of
Yeah.
that.
Bro, I'm telling a story right now.
Dude.
This is insane. So, basically, when Soviet Russia was not the best place to be, and Stalin was in control, they had like concentration camps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had this new one starting on this island, really cold island, and they were like, "Hey yo, let's send some people here," and they sent some people there. Guess what what the guards forgot to do though?
Mm.
The guards were like, so guess what? We forgot to get food, so these people don't have food, and because Stalin was the one that was in charge of them, they didn't want to tell Stalin because Stalin would have been like, okay, that's very cool. Now you're gonna die, which would not be great for them, right? They didn't want that. So the guards were like, hey yo, people, so you don't have food, and they were like, hey, okay, sounds cool, right? Got you. So they're in this cold place. They have no shelter. They have no food. They have nothing, and they're just chilling in this cold place. Most of them died the first night. Right. After that, few of them survived. Most of them were dead, but now they're just surrounded by corpses with no food, and they're freezing cold, and they're almost dead. So not a great situation.
Not the best to be in.
Yeah, the guards decided to make matters worse. Don't know why, but they started just hunting people. And this is a true story. This actually happened. The guards were just hunting people, like literally just
But
like
it seems reasonable.
shooting people. I mean, that time period, people don't realize how brutal Stalin was.
Yeah, no, they really didn't.
They're just like, Hitler's the main bad guy, and then Stalin's just a little guy. It's not like that. Stalin was terrible, and this is just part of that. Like even the guards that.
So they went to an island. They got shipped out to an island, but they forgot the food.
Right.
And why didn't they want to tell them?
Because they would be killed.
Oh, if they forgot the food.
Yeah, because if Stalin found out they messed up, Stalin would have been like, "All right, guys, no more
you."
No more you.
Okay, that I guess that.
So
no logic behind that, but okay.
So the guards started
just
shooting people.
Eating each other, right?
No, the guards weren't eating them. The guards had food.
I thought the guards didn't have food.
The guards had food, but they didn't get like supplies for everybody else.
Oh, on the island.
Yeah.
So people who lived on the island started.
The people in the concentration camp
Just
started starving.
Oh, okay.
But the guards who had like shelter and
fine.
food, they were fine. And things got bad enough to the point where like young girls were prostituting themselves to the guards just to get food. Like that was the thing that was going on. The guards were hunting people for no reason really. There's no good reason for that. They just decided to do that.
For fun.
And there was a point when there would be a point when you have nothing to eat, but there's people dying all around you, that you would start eating them, right? And this is what happened. People started eating each other, and it was really disgusting and violent. Gruesome. And the worst part is that they didn't, at some point, they weren't just doing it for nourishment, and that was found when somebody went there and saw that someone had been hung on a tree and their biceps were eaten in such a way that they were still alive when they were being eaten. Which means
horrible.
The people, what we can conclude from that is the people probably got so used to literally eating each other that they started to take joy in it in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is interesting to look at from a psychological standpoint. Like,
I was thinking the same thing.
Like, once you've already violated some of your core morals, the things that make you human,
you kind of just go
crazy. Do you just go all the way?
Right.
Like, I've already lost my humanity. Do I just keep
just
on going with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like once you cross the line once, it's easier to do it again.
It's kind of
and
like
again and again. The more you do it, the easier it's gonna get.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like when you really try a diet, but you're not very good at staying committed, so you end up just like eating one cheeseburger. You're like, all right, I'm going all out. I'm done. I'm eating all the cheeseburgers.
Yeah. Once you give in a little bit, you just kind of
you get a taste for that blood, and
you're like, wow, the vampires had it right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
So yeah, I think in some instances it's okay, but not. At first it was okay, they forgot food, fine, just.
I don't know if I would say it's okay. It's like can be acceptable.
Like if they rationed a human out to every other human, Okay, we killed the biggest guy here, now we're gonna ration him out for 2 days.
It's still pretty immoral.
To
eat somebody.
Definitely.
So I don't think we should be saying it's okay.
It's acceptable. Wait, no, it's not acceptable.
It's acceptable to eat people sometimes.
It's like if you have to, you do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
People they're not gonna accept the fact that you did it. You're always going to be accountable.
You just always eat, killing and eating people. But who would you kill?
To eat or
That's a good question.
Yeah, your fiance, Joah's fiance, decided that was a good topic.
Oh yes.
Who would we kill?
Do question your taste in women when they're telling us that we shouldn't ask who we're gonna kill.
That was just the question: who you gonna kill? That was it.
Yeah, no cannibalism in this one.
It doesn't matter. There's no context to this. It's just if you could kill someone, I guess would you kill?
I guess if you could get away with murder, you got a one-time free pass.
You got a free
anybody in the
murder
world.
pass.
Who are you gonna kill?
Joe Biden.
Whoa.
Didn't skip a beat on that one.
You'd be regarded as the person who just got to kill Joe Biden for free.
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be
cool.
Kind of cool.
That would definitely.
What if you kill the person who gave you the pass?
Then do you get unlimited passes?
Well, no, because they give you one pass. But then, like, you kill them, and, like, that's just kind of a dirtbag move.
Yeah, that's a jerk move. That's not very nice.
Yeah, that's not cool.
It'd be rude, but you'd get away with it.
What if it's kind of like the Purge, where everyone once a year gets to kill somebody?
Just one person. The population would
Probably
cut in half.
Cut in half, at least.
Yeah, either that or everybody
Everybody dies if everyone like goes up to each other.
Like if I stab you, you still have time to stab me.
Right. Unless it was at some point where only one person was alive.
Yeah, like so it could just be that one person survives.
Yeah, that one man.
Well, there would be a lot of people
And then
who
he
just
doesn't get to kill anybody.
hide and then
Yeah.
wait it out. But there'd also be people who are just violent.
So who would you kill? The Joe Biden thing was totally a joke, but so like, but who would you kill? Like if you could kill someone, let's say Hitler, right? All right, like, but you know, you don't need to kill him; he did it for you. But the thing is like, would you kill him back in the day?
Back in the day.
Back in my day.
Back in my day.
If I existed in that time period and I didn't know what was going to happen in the future, yeah, I would kill Hitler. If I were like using a time machine and going back in time, I wouldn't, because it would change too many things.
Right.
People would cease to exist.
Like that's a big event in history, and it helped to shape the world how it is now.
Oh yeah.
So yes, what you did was wrong, but if I could go back and change it, I don't think I would, because I don't know what effect it would have on our current future, our current present.
So, I think it just who do I hate the most at the moment is probably who I'd end up killing, you know?
Just take him out.
Take him out, yeah.
I feel like I would probably do something terrible.
Oh gosh.
Like just cause chaos somewhere. I'd probably kill someone like Kim Jong-un. But it'd also be kind of a waste though, because they would just replace him.
Yeah.
I would try to find somebody who would like who's doing bad things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, not that kind of. I like about like someone who's really good and stuff, and just.
What if I choose to kill Kim Jong-un by nuke?
You have a pass.
Choose.
Well, you have a pass for killing him, but you still have to pay for everybody else.
Yeah.
The crime of killing everybody else.
They're gonna let me drop the nuke on Kim
That's
Jong-un
true.
though, and then I'll take the sentence.
That is something else right there. So
Jordan's dealing with an 8-year-old.
An 8-year-old child that he just broke his and his head is popped off.
Okay.
So remember that free pass we were talking about? I could use one of those right about now.
That is evil.
I have a pass.
That's
what
true.
can I say?
It's kind of like when you have the N-word pass, you can just, you know.
Yeah, like it's if you have a pass, then like who cares?
You get the pass. You're
Yeah,
good to go.
True.
We're all good.
All right. So, Nico, what are you doing? Stop that, Nico. All right.
There's come a point in
What
time.
did you just say? What did you just say?
My brain has turned to mush.
It's okay. All right.
Um,
Is it okay if humans date robots?
I think there's a serious problem with it. I think from a moral perspective, it's not necessarily wrong.
I think
it's like,
I think it's
to each his own kind of thing. Like
No.
from a moral standpoint.
I don't think
It's
so.
like-
I think it's damaging to the individual.
I think,
It is,
I
but-
think it gets rid of the man part of a guy. Now, we're not saying it's always going to be a guy dating the robot, but let's say typically it would be a guy, because most guys, you know.
It would
Yeah.
normally be
Right.
a guy, yeah.
Alright. It would get rid of, like, the need for a girl, especially if it had, you know, those capabilities, you know what I'm saying? Right? So, like, it would completely get rid of, like, I don't need a girl, you know?
The thing is, we have to not get rid of freedom, but at the same time, this can that kind of thing would have damaging effects for pretty much everybody, really.
It's like how we don't
like
allow...
even if it's indirect.
Right. It's kind of like how we just don't allow, you know, certain things. So it's not like in America, certain things are illegal for the good, right?
Yeah.
So we still
Yeah.
have freedom, but some things we can't do. Like I can't go out and kill my neighbor just because I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say.
There was a movie about this. You know that?
Was there?
Yeah, like a girl tried to date a guy robot. She fell in love with him, I think.
Interesting.
I'd say it's more damaging to the individual than it is to collective.
I think it has indirect effects on the collective, but more direct effects on the individual.
That's the thing is
Right,
when
yeah.
there's something that damages the individual, it ultimately will damage the collective because the
Right.
individuals are what make up the collective.
It's like a grain of rice going to a big pot of rice.
Yeah.
At some point, it builds up and turns into a big group.
That kind of made sense.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with it, but
Yeah, I understood what you meant though. Yeah, I think we would have weaker men as a whole, and there would be a lot of mental health problems in our society.
right.
The therapist might be getting some bigger paychecks.
That is true.
There's gotta be more of a demand.
I had a big argument with my robot last night. I just can't stop thinking about it.
I watched this guy think. His name is Think Before You Sleep. He's pretty cool. I 100% recommend him. He talked about this. If guys were able, if robots were dateable, then guys would just be useless. Oh, that poor baby. That was bad.
Why did that just show up on my computer?
I don't like
A
that.
baby just put his hand on a candle. Should we just transition right into our next thing now?
Yeah, let's just transition because
So-
I don't like what this is up on the screen.
I went on to the antinatalism subreddit. Real quick, I'll explain what that is
Yeah,
for
because
those
I
of
have
you who don't
no
know.
idea what it is. What is this?
Antinatalism is a philosophy that attributes a negative attribute to childbirth. Let me see if I can find the description actually, because it'll. Okay, I can't find the description.
It's like nothing here. What happened?
Where did it all go? What the heck?
Refresh?
You're in hot right now, so it'd be popular. I don't know.
Did they just get wiped?
Probably.
Try going to top. See if that helps.
It's gonna be the same thing. Anyways, so the belief of antinatalism is that is basically that having a child isn't a moral wronghood rather than a positive thing. People who believe in antinatalism, they believe that because life is full of so many hardships and because life is such a depressing and negative thing, by forcing a child to exist, is the way they put it, you're doing something wrong.
So it's kind of like how, when the mom is like, I gave birth to you, I held you for 9 months, and all this stuff, and then the kid's like, I didn't ask for that. It's kind of like that in a way, but,
Yeah. You've got the spirit. You've got it.
I think, I don't know what we're supposed to say about it. I mean, I think it doesn't make sense, because there's also a lot of good in the world. So, I mean, but from my viewpoint, I'm not looking for good or bad. I'm just kind of looking like a normal life, for a kid. So I get what they mean. They're like, okay, you're forcing a kid to be put into this world.
Yeah, but
the
you're
world
also
doesn't have to
allowing them to be put into this
Right.
world.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing is, it doesn't have to be all bad too. It really, I think it just depends on the type of household you're gonna be brought up in, and that's gonna determine if you have a good life or not.
Like some people, I'd say they probably shouldn't have children, just because they're not well off financially.
Oh well, yeah.
Like they can barely support themselves, and then they decide to have a child, and then that's a
I have
problem.
kind of a hot take on that. I don't think if you live in a poor community, like the poorer parts of Africa, I think it is morally wrong to have kids.
You think it's morally wrong to have kids in Africa? Is that what
In
you
the
just
poor
said?
in the poor parts of Africa, yeah.
I think yes, it's morally wrong.
Because you're subjecting someone to
That life,
literally starving to death when they get older.
if they get
Which
older.
is yeah. Which is not good. And I guess when you look at it from those lenses, you can kind of see where antinatalists come from, but I think it's a really depressing worldview.
I agree.
It's this idea that it's going to be the same for everyone. It's consistently bad. But let's read the description a little better, because they'll explain it better than I did. It says, a community for antinatalism, the philosophical position that assigns a negative value to birth. Okay, that's all. The rest is just that it's like information on the subreddit.
So, I think I get why it's a thing, but it's like again, I think it really just depends on what kind of household you're gonna be brought up into, you know. Because you can have a really good life if you have good parents, they care about you. Especially if, you know, they're actually gonna act like you're human.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of parents just like don't let their kids make decisions, and that ultimately in the future when they get older, they're not gonna know how to make decisions and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's really bad parenting, and you know. So I think it really just depends on the circumstances that you're being put into, you know.
I do also have another somewhat hot take. I think adoption is far morally superior to having children. And having children, like the natural way, I don't think it's necessarily bad. But when you're looking at it from a morals perspective, it's ultimately useless.
When you can just go buy a baby.
well, here's the thing: is a lot of like Christians, for example, will say that the reason they have children is because they want to raise up like the next generation to be Christians, which is valid. But it doesn't make sense to add more life to the world.
Well, we don't need to.
When there's already plenty of life that needs to be changed.
Right.
There's people out there that need to have homes.
Right.
And instead of giving them homes, you just want to have kids the natural way. And you can say like it's different because it's like it's really romantic, right? Like it's a combination of okay, it's a combination of like you and somebody else's genetics, right? Which is really like you can see why that's appealing, but okay, stop interpreting what I'm saying. It was bad. Oh my gosh. So there's like an appealing sense to that, but at the same time, when you think about it, it's ultimately kind of selfish. And I think I might end up having kids like the natural way when I'm older, but I do acknowledge that there's a certain degree of selfishness in that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna have your own kids and adopt, you're gonna want to do it the correct way. My parents, for example, adopted 4, and they brought them up really well. And I think when I was younger, like, I didn't look at them any different. They've always been the same. You know? So, like, I think if you do adopt, you're going to want to do it the correct way, you know?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, that can end really badly.
My little brother's adopted, but I don't see him as adopted. I see him as my brother.
Right.
That's just what he is.
Yeah,
For family, it doesn't matter whether or not we have the same genetics.
You don't treat him with any higher respect or any lower.
Yeah, like I'll punch him just the same.
I was gonna say something about that, but I didn't want to. I was a little too afraid to say that. Right, I'm not gonna be afraid to punch one of my biological brothers the same or differently, or you know.
An argument could be made that it takes a certain kind of person to adopt, but I think that argument can also be flipped, and you can say it takes a certain type of person to have kids. Right. And if you're not the type of person who can adopt, should you even be having kids at all? Because it's a big responsibility, and people take it lightly. But, like, when you have a kid, that's 18 years minimum that you're going to have to raise this kid and go through all the hardships of raising a kid.
What about crack babies?
Crack what? Like babies, like their parents...
Like on crack while having them?
I know a little bit about that, yeah. I mean, it's not a very good thing to do, having crack.
Yeah, that's
I think we can all agree that that's not the best.
Probably not the best household for that child to grow up in.
I don't know where I was going with that, but...
What are your opinions on people who are crack babies? Do you think they should be treated as equals or less?
Yes. What is this?
Let me put this back. If I could say one thing to Natalis, it would be this. Some of you have babies, but you don't love them. I mean, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah,
but I'm not an anti-natalist.
That's the people who shouldn't have children. If you can't love your child, like, throughout their life, then you shouldn't have one.
Exactly.
Before you decide to have a child, you should make sure that you're wanting a child.
I think love, in of itself, like, it's a feeling at first, but it has to be a decision. And that's one of the things I evaluate, like, when I'm looking for a potential... Well, I'm not looking for children yet. I don't have a wife. Okay, I don't even have a girlfriend. Don't bring that up. so when I'm looking for, like, a potential person to be, like, my wife eventually.
Your mate.
You don't have to put it so weird.
Your mating service.
Yeah, this guy said mating service earlier instead of girlfriend. Oh my gosh. So, like, when I'm looking for a potential person to be my wife, I'm looking, like, if I felt nothing for this person, would I still be able to, like, hang out with them?
Right.
Because eventually your feelings fade.
Exactly.
All you're left with is somebody that you may or may not like being around.
See, the nice thing about my relationship with my fiancée is that we've never liked each other, so there's no going down, you know. That sounds really bad, but she agrees with me.
You know what? I think that in a way that's good.
Like, it's like we didn't have that like crush feeling.
Yeah,
at all. We've
it was
never
just like,
had
hey,
that.
dap me up, bro.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
Not the best way of wording
like,
it.
Hey, let's get married.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. Like, there was no, like, spark. There was no, like... But what did end up happening is that even though I never had a crush on her, once I started seeing her a lot more and stuff, and we started dating, I still haven't had it, but I have this, like, liking for her. You know, like a love, but it's not like a crush, like, head over heels feel. It's like I would do pretty much anything for this person.
See, I don't know how you could do that. For me, like, I meet someone and they say one nice thing, and then I'm like, I kind of like this person, and then I, like, crush on them way too hard, and then bad things happen.
You know, I think after a while I got, like, a slight crush feeling, and that did happen, but it wasn't, like, it didn't last long, and then it went away, and it's okay because I never had that in the beginning, you know.
I think that is good though, because you've already proven that you can, like, you like her enough to where
I don't need that.
You don't need the crush, and the crush goes away for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's inevitable. If you're gonna marry someone and spend the rest of your life with her, you're gonna stop liking her. This man just broke my pencil.
I feel really bad about that. Like, stop playing with that pencil.
It's okay. I've already, like, partially broken it several times.
You told me about that.
Yeah. So.
Alright, next subject.
So, we're going right into our debate this week, because Jordan said that we should do it, and we were like, hey, that's a good idea.
I didn't say that.
No, you did say what I'm about to say. We are doing multiple debate topics.
I see. Yeah, I did say that.
Instead of just one, we're doing 3.
Jordan's like, whoa.
Spice things up real quick. Alright? So, first one, right off the bat, should Christians get tattoos? And the 3 of us were Christians, if you don't know.
That's right.
We are God-fearing men.
Mm-hmm.
Theological
Connoisseurs.
connoisseurs, yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts? Do you think a Christian should get a tattoo?
I think I would say no, but I'm also like, doesn't it depend on if you're open or closed hand?
Yeah, I mean, we can define that as we're talking about it. You can say as like a open hand thing, like something that's not vital to whether or not you're saved. Right. You don't think personally that a Christian should get a tattoo. Mm-hmm. Or if you really strongly believe that it's like crucial to salvation, then you can tell me that.
Closed hand and open hand real quick.
So closed hand doctrine is basically doctrine that you can't argue on, like Jesus died for our sins, right? That sort of thing.
Yeah, it's the stuff that directly affects your salvation. If you don't believe that Jesus Christ is Lord, you're not saved. Like,
Right.
It's like that kind of thing.
These are the things that are essential to the Christian religion.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's open hand doctrine, and there's things like unconditional election versus conditional election. There's crazy theological beliefs.
That didn't work.
There's crazy theological beliefs out there, and they're already on the bed. This man's trying to switch it to the bed while they're already on it. So anyways, there are things that you can believe that don't affect your salvation, and we call these open hand doctrines.
I think one of the most popular ones that a lot of people talk about is eating pork or not, or eating meat in general or not.
Yeah, that's the one that's mentioned in Romans.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I don't think it's okay to eat meat. I want to go buy." Isn't it like Old Testament that it was like that, right?
What Paul was talking about in the book of Romans was eating unclean meat, like not unclean
Pork.
meat, but meat that's been sacrificed
Pork.
to idols.
Cows.
Any kind of meat that's been sacrificed to idols. And there were some Christians at this time that were in support of that because the idols aren't actually gods. There's only one God. But there were other Christians who were like, hey, no, I'm not going to do that because this is something that somebody used to worship a God other than the real God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the situation that was going on there. And Paul cleared it up. This can be found, do you remember which chapter it is? It's in Romans somewhere. I think it's Romans chapter 12, actually, but I'm not certain. Anyways, so what Paul cleared up in this chapter was basically, you can eat this meat. The Bible doesn't say there's anything wrong with it, but if you really strongly feel like you shouldn't, then don't do it. Don't eat the meat.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're around people who strongly feel like they shouldn't, don't eat the meat, because then
You're
you
causing
could
them
be-
to stumble.
Right.
Yeah,
You're making
exactly.
a stumbling block at that point.
And so when it comes to this question of should Christians get tattoos, it kind of falls into that category of open hand doctrines, I think. And whether or not you should do it is more dependent on what your conscience leads you to. If your conscience leads you to, I shouldn't do this because it's defiling the temple of God, then don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I see it.
But if you don't feel that way, then as long as you're not getting anything like, too insane, right?
Yeah.
Then I think it's okay. I think it's okay to an extent.
I saw an Instagram debate a little while ago, and it mentioned a passage in Leviticus. Leviticus 19, verse 28 says, "Do not cut your bodies for the dead or put tattoo marks on yourselves. I am the Lord." And so somebody used that argument that we should not. But if you, just a little bit earlier, in verse 27, it says, "Do not cut the hair at the sides of your head or clip off the edges of your beard." And then even a little bit before that, it says something about your clothing being made of one material.
Or right here, do not eat any meat with the blood
Yeah,
still in it.
and so you have to keep in mind that some of these are for just the people of that time. It was Levitican law or something like that. I don't remember.
The Levitican law.
Yeah, and it was for those people specifically at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So these don't affect us as much now.
Or necessarily apply.
Exactly.
Yeah, in the New Testament, when Jesus died on the cross, God created a new covenant for mankind. And things like the Levitican law no longer applied to us. Now we can cut the sides of our head, and there's no consequences to it, because we're just cutting our hair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same with that verse. I don't think it really makes sense to try and use that verse as an argument, but then ignore all the other verses before and after. And that's not to say, because some people will use that as an argument for the Bible is fallible. People will say, oh, the Bible is not actually 100% true and accurate because look at Leviticus. There's all these crazy, wild laws that nobody follows. That's not what I'm trying to get at. What I'm trying to get at is that those laws no longer apply to us. I still think the Bible's inerrant and 100% true.
Because that was the law for the time. And so it's just because it's different now doesn't mean it was false back then. And it's in the Bible so that we can understand what it was like back then. The Bible, everything in the Bible is there for a reason. And there are some things that get left out, some things are put in, and there's a reason for it.
Yeah, I think when it really comes down to it, it is what you put on your body, what kind of tattoo you're getting. Because I think we're called to be representatives of God, and what's the word? Ambassadors for the kingdom of God. And if we're getting tattoos of like Satanist stuff or sinful stuff, then that's a problem. But if I get a tattoo that is a tattoo of the cross or something, I see zero problem with that. I don't see why there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's like if a Christian guy, well, quote unquote Christian guy, walked up to you and like try to like preach the gospel to you, but then you look at his arms and stuff and he has Satanist tattoos. It's almost like trying to get weight training advice from a very overweight person. You're like, like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I like that example, that analogy. That makes sense. So I think so that we don't drag on one topic, let's move on to the next debate.
The train dilemma.
I don't know if that's actually what it's called. I'm pretty sure there's another name for it. But essentially, the old question of if a train is on a track and it's heading towards
a fork.
A fork in the...
Oh, yeah, a fork.
Yeah.
And it's heading towards 5 people, but you have a lever and you can divert it so it goes towards 1 person. Would you divert it to kill the 1 person to save the 5?
Listen, there's a lot that goes into this. Who is that 1 person? How old are the other 5 people?
I think we can assume...
Who are the 5 other people?
I think we can assume they're all...
the same
approximately
age.
the same age. They're all strangers to you.
As far as you know.
So they don't have any like social importance or anything like that, right?
They don't have defining traits that separate themselves.
Okay. So you got to think, what does that 1 person, have at home? Do they have a family? But then again, those other 5 people probably have families and stuff.
Yeah. The thing is, if you don't do anything, there's no blood on your hands. You're innocent. The only thing you didn't do is save them. Right. But saving them means killing somebody else. Right. If you choose to save the 5 but kill the 1, that blood is on your hands.
Well,
and you'll have
even
to
if you don't do anything, then that 5's on your hands.
Yeah, you could debate that, but like
I agree with that.
For some people, not doing anything is basically making a choice to kill the 5.
Yeah, complacency is a choice.
Yeah, but you could say, I don't want any blood on my hands.
So I'm not going to touch that lever.
And so for some people, that would be, like, they wouldn't be able to bring themselves to kill somebody.
But in a way, they're killing 5 people.
Yeah, letting somebody die is different than killing somebody for most people. And so either way, they'll have to live with this. And so I guess for most people, it's which is going to be better for you.
Right.
I think, personally, so here's my opinion. I've never heard anyone with the same opinion. But I would not switch the road. I would just let the 5 people die. And it's not because I don't want blood on my hands. I don't care. If I'm...
Wow.
Okay, if it's just a 50-50 chance and I don't know which one it's going to go to and I just get to choose which one it is, I'll kill the 1 person, obviously, because I don't want 5 people to die. But it's already heading towards the 5 people. And the way I see it,
maybe
they're standing on the tracks, and that's a dumb thing to do.
Oh, I assume they were, like, tied down.
Yeah, I assume they were tied down as well.
All of the illustrations I see are, like, people standing there.
Well, at that point, it's on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty dumb. That 1 person...
That's the way I think about it. Like, that's on them. It's their fault. So, they're the one that's going to die. I'm not going to make someone who's just minding their own business die. But if they are tied down, I guess it's a little bit different.
Yeah, if they're
Yeah.
tied down, it's more difficult.
If they're tied down, I just kill the one person.
Right, yeah. That's what I
I
was
don't care if
thinking.
there's blood on my hands.
Now, if it's 5 and they're
Either way,
just
there's blood
standing
on my
there,
hands.
If it's 5 of them just standing there,
then
like,
yeah, I'm not going to do anything.
at
Because
that point
it's
you
like,
can even be like, hey, watch out. And then, like,
Yeah.
if they continue to not move, you're
then
like,
that's
okay.
really on them.
Okay, humanity's gonna get better by getting rid of these people.
Yeah,
Whatever.
natural selection.
Natural selection.
Yeah.
Taking its course, one step at a time,
If they're tied down, it really there
one
is no
track at a time.
there is no choice that was made on any of their parts.
Yeah.
Like we can assume somebody probably tied them down, and
Now,
at that point, it's your choice. If you do nothing, you're still making the choice. For
now
5 people
let's
to
say
die.
the tracks are 2 feet from each other. The 2 train tracks, one with 5, one with 1, and then there's that one track that connects to both of them. If you kill that one person, those 5 people are gonna need a lot of therapy. If you do just the 5 people, only that one person is gonna need intense therapy.
Okay, now you're getting into the anti-natalist argument. Now you're saying that it'd be better for them to die than to live a life of hardship, which I disagree with because positivity and goodness can be found in hardship. Even if they have to have intense therapy because they just watched someone get torn apart by a train, that doesn't mean their entire life is going to be misery. Video? What? Where's this going?
The photos in the PS chat.
That was a terrible human being.
Yeah, you were. That was good.
There's a picture on the internet of someone who got ran over by a train. And I was a sadistic 12-year-old. I decided to send that to my friends like a normal person.
Like every day.
Every day. Guys, trust me, I've changed. Okay, I'm not a psychopath anymore.
Kind
You
of.
can be my friend.
Oh, man.
So that was a serious topic. I say we move to another serious topic. Is the ocean soup?
Okay, what's the definition of soup?
I believe it's has something to do with broth. Let's give them our screen.
I do believe that 4. I do believe that a soup needs to have broth.
I think it needs to have broth, but how's broth made?
Exactly. Now we gotta get into the definition of broth.
Right.
Hold on one second. A liquid dish typically made by boiling meat, fish, or vegetables.
So it usually consists of boiling. Now there are parts of the ocean that don't they have like
underwater
volcanoes,
volcanoes.
Yes.
So you could say that those parts of the ocean are soup.
Correct. I guess you could say that. But where's the broth going? Are dead fish going near that, and then their bones being turned into broth?
It doesn't say there needs to be broth.
Okay, so we're not looking at the. Okay, so we're done with the broth part. So I think in some instances, yes, it can be considered soup.
But so some parts of the ocean is soup, some parts are not.
Yes, the parts that are not, it's just an ocean.
What if there's water moves, right? There's a current.
Right, I see where you're going.
So you could say that water that was boiled is mixed in with the rest of it, and over time it would eventually, as a whole, become soup.
So if you made soup by boiling like stuff, like meat and vegetables, like let's say you made some tomato soup and then you water it down with half water.
Is
Cold
it still
water,
soup, or is it just a dirty dish?
Well, think about this.
It's
That cold
watered
water
down soup.
at some point is also going to be boiled separately.
No, I get what he's saying, because the ocean works a little differently.
That's true.
Let's say you had a very large pot and only one side had the heater on it, and then that soup slowly transitions over and it gets mixed around.
Yeah, kind of.
I know what you mean, but the ocean's really big, and I think it's a bold statement to say that the water in Antarctica is going to make its way to Hawaii and hit a volcano. All of it. Some of it maybe, but all
That's
of
true.
it.
I'm saying over time, there's a possibility, which the Earth has been around for quite a bit of time. Like there's debating between like millions or thousands or whatever.
Billions.
But it's been around for a while, so it may not be fully soup at this point, But eventually,
It's getting there.
I think it will be fully soup.
Now, what about the frozen parts, though? Because there's frozen oceans out there.
Well, yeah, that's why the current.
There's no current, it's frozen.
Even then, oh, you're saying like the ice?
Yeah.
You can put ice in soup. You're a psychopath if you do.
Yeah, that's true. You're supposed to like...
It's still soup
because they try to cool off their soup by adding like ice.
Yeah.
My little sister adds ice to her oatmeal because...
Oatmeal?
They cool it off. To cool it off.
Is that medicine or
is mercy? No, my mom used to do that for me when I was a kid, but I hated it, so I just take the ice cubes out and eat the ice cubes out of the oatmeal.
All of that is disgusting.
Quite tasty.
Love me some oatmeal ice. Yummy.
But yeah, so I think in some parts of the ocean, yes, a very diluted soup.
But in other parts, so
it's
some parts it's soup, some parts it's diluted soup, and then some parts it's not soup.
It's cold refrigerated soup.
So you're saying
I see.
if I pour a bowl of soup into a swimming pool, is that entire swimming pool now soup?
No, but that part of the soup that you poured in there is still soup. Just in
that doesn't make the swimming pool soup.
Yeah, the swimming pool as a whole is not a soup.
That makes it a swimming pool that has soup in it.
Right.
So the ocean is not soup. The ocean is the ocean that has soup in it.
It has soup in it.
It's not partially soup.
But the soup came from
soup in it.
No, the soup came from the ocean.
That doesn't mean anything.
Sure it does.
No.
It's
if I
weird.
take some water from my swimming pool, mix some tomato soup with it, and then pour that back into the pool, I'm not like, well, part of that. It's part of that water is it's soup now, and the soup it came from this body of water, so therefore the entire body of water is now soup.
What if you somehow made the soup, like boiled it in the swimming pool? What then?
You'd just be a weirdo.
Well, that's what happens in the ocean. Like part of the water gets boiled and becomes
So is the
soup.
ocean a weirdo?
Yes, the ocean is weird. Okay?
It is pretty weird.
Look up the long. I think it's called the long arm. What is it called? Long arm squid. Look up that. It's like a real thing, and it's kind of creepy, but it's cool.
I'll give you guys my screen in a second, but I'm a slow typer, and I don't want you to see it.
And there's also a microphone on the
there's
keyboard.
a microphone on the keyboard, which is making me way slower.
Yeah. Wait.
The long squid. Alright. Shift 3, right? 4.
Yep. Shift 4.
Is it 4?
Yep.
The big fin. You're talking about this boy.
Maybe we should check.
We can check.
Oh yeah, no, I think you're right.
Yeah, they can see us.
So it's that thing. They're very rare to find, but they're very creepy and weird because they get like hundreds. Like their fins get hundreds and hundreds of feet long. Now, you think that's from a video game, but no, it's real. Like that was a real photo taken.
The ocean is wacky.
Dude, look how nasty that is. That's a real picture of a fish.
It's crazy.
So that's in your soup.
No, it's
like the noodles.
your
Oh, Jordan didn't say that.
No. Your soup is in the body of water that this is in.
Yes. It's a very creepy fish. I don't like it, but I also like it in a way. Like, it looks cool, you know? Go back to this photo.
It's the same photo.
Yeah, I know, but it's littler.
Look
how long that is. That's massive, dude. Wait, no, stop. Don't say it. No, don't say it.
That's what she said.
Open link in incognito. So that's nasty. That's a big fish.
Look, I can zoom in.
That's cool, Nico. But yeah, these things are massive. They're very long. This is a real photo.
Long legs.
I think they're fins.
I like my women like I like my squid.
Long.
With long arms.
So, yeah.
And legs.
Apparently they don't use their arms very much, but they use it if they feel something. Then they like grab it, scoot it up to their mouth, and eat it.
That's awesome, actually.
That is pretty cool. But it's crazy because that's a real photo. That's not even like a video game. That's like it's like a real thing. I thought that was cool because it looks like it's
That is cool.
Yeah.
like it looks like it's from it looks like it's from that. What was that video game we played? What was that?
BioShock.
Yeah,
BioShock is a great game.
It is.
I gave up on that game so many times,
I can't believe you gave up on it.
dude.
amazing.
I've played the first BioShock like 2.5 times.
Yeah, I've given up every last time I've ever opened.
You gotta we gotta
I
start
got pretty
playing
close to
Infinite
the-
soon.
Oh, dude, that one looks good. That one looks good.
Infinite is good. I played all of them and they're all great. But Infinite might be the best. It's between Infinite and the first.
See,
The first one is like has that legendary status.
yeah,
But I would say Infinite does too. It's the only sequel that is like
it's
been
good.
a legendary game on its own.
Yeah.
Like it's no Halo 2, it's no Call of Duty Black Ops 3 where you're just
right.
improving some things. It's like a whole other game.
Yeah,
But it's also a sequel, and you see like I won't spoil anything, but you see later on in the story it ties in with the first one.
Yeah, I think that's in the DLC that it does that.
It ties in the regular game too, in a way.
It kind of does.
It
It's like Infinite has a weird story.
It does. Let's not get into it. No spoilers.
Yeah, no
So-
spoilers. It just has kind of a
new topic.
weird.
At work today, I was vibing, and I've heard this a few times. I think people get the beans and rices mixed up sometimes. And the guy goes, I was working the line today for a quick second, and this person goes, "I'll have the black rice." or like people get in line and they just say, "I want the carnitas bowl," and I'm like, "Okay, what do you want in it?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" Or like, are you looking at black rice? Oh.
Black rice. Actually, I will look that up now.
Or I have people coming and saying, "I want the lemon lime rice with cilantros," and I'm like, both rices have it. You can have brown or white. They'll have white. Or yeah, people say, "I want the normal beans," so I assume pinto and I have to grab pinto. I'm like, whatever. Or they say that about the rice too. They're like, "I'll have the normal rice." I'm like, what? There's no such thing as normal rice.
Forbidden black rice.
Recipes. Let's
That's-
cook that.
Scary. What is a forbidden black rice?
I didn't know black rice existed.
I didn't know it was forbidden.
Who forbid it?
Should we be looking at this? Are we gonna get put in jail? Made 1 cup of forbidden black rice. They just say that
forbid
like
it?
it's a normal ingredient.
But who forbid it?
It's on Amazon. Oh no.
Oh, I want to see that.
Healthier rice for a healthier life. I don't think I would buy any food
That's
that
an
says forbidden.
expensive rice. It's only 30 ounces, and it's $16.73. That's a very expensive rice. That better be some nice Gucci rice. It better be delicious.
It's forbidden.
It better be delicious.
Why is it forbidden?
I don't know.
Y'all seen the Chipotle brisket? I know Joah has because he works at Chipotle.
I eat it every day.
I haven't had it. Joah says it's good though. Let's take a look at it. Let's analyze this. I haven't eaten dinner, so I'm gonna get hungry.
Doesn't
See-
look like that.
It doesn't make sense.
It does. It
They're
looks like
selling
this.
brisket, but I'm all for the brisket.
It's very delicious.
I want to get some, but it also doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense. It kind of tastes like Famous Dave's food. Have you had Famous Dave's?
Yeah.
It's just like that. It's
That's what I would
so
think.
good.
It's just like American food that they're randomly throwing in a taco.
But it's amazing.
Oh man, I want this so badly.
It's like a spaghetti taco.
I gotta go to Chipotle soon.
I'm telling you, dude. Go there, get some nice brisket. But I will say, whoever's working that day, it may taste different. Like I make it more saucy than you're supposed to, because if you don't, it's just very dry and it's nasty.
Yeah, I probably won't go to the one that you work at because there's one by my house.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Like if you do it to the recipe, it's really good. I improve it by adding extra sauce and extra seasoning.
Wait,
Like-
there's sauce in it too?
Like yeah, there's a barbecue sauce that's like mixed into it. You don't really see it though. It's just, it kind of just coats each piece of meat really.
Huh.
That's barbacoa. That's not brisket.
Whatever. Ugh.
But
Bro, I smell your socks right now.
dude, I know I have to drive home with these socks. I don't know where my other sock is. It's just I'll put it right here. It's a pretty good. I would recommend it.
Yeah, I might get that tomorrow. So the ocean, we all concluded, is not soup.
It is.
Well, not fully.
It's semi-soup.
Somewhat.
It is zero soup.
It's circulating.
It is water that has soup in it.
It has to circulate.
No, it doesn't. Not all of the water in Antarctica is going to end up in Hawaii.
Here we go.
Maybe eventually.
The majority of it won't. No, Jordan, the world will end before that happens.
Guys, think about this. It's just cold soup that needs to be warmed up.
Oh.
Okay, have you ever microwaved soup and then not all of it is
Have you
hot?
ever microwaved ice and then called it soup? No.
Well, there's
because
no
that's
meat
not how
and
it works.
vegetables.
That's different though.
That's not different. There's no meat in Antarctica. That's just gonna make it.
Oh, so
soup.
now you're being racist.
Yes. If that's what it takes to defend my belief, then sure.
Wow.
I don't know how I'm being racist, but yeah.
Because you said there's no meat in America. I mean, Antarctica.
What?
Why did I say brisket tacos? That's very obviously barbacoa. I know this looks
Show
good.
them what you're looking at.
That's barbacoa. That is not brisket. A brisket is cubed.
This is not even Chipotle, I don't think. They just called it Southwestern Chipotle brisket tacos because Chipotle is like another thing. It's not just a restaurant.
That's legit what it looks like. Then we chop it up once it comes off.
So like this.
That.
Yeah, it looks like that, and then we add that sauce to it. But the thing is after I add the sauce to it, I add more of the seasoning, and it's very spicy. And it kind of coats it with the barbecue sauce and the sauce, so that each piece has a nice thick coating around it. It's kind of like ribs, the way I make it, but mini.
Nice.
That sounds scrumptious.
It's so good, dude.
Delightful even. So if you drop Chipotle brisket in the ocean,
Is it soup?
is it soup?
If it makes its way towards that volcano.
Well, it's already warm. It kind of warms the water around it.
Yeah, but the water doesn't boil.
Well, that's
from-
true. Does it need a
from the
boil
brisket.
though? It could just be cold soup.
Well,
You're just creating soup with ocean water. You're not turning the ocean into a soup.
Because, I mean, not all soups are technically hot. There are cold soups out there.
Yeah, but you have to boil them first.
Do you?
Yeah, you don't just take water and then throw some seasoning in there and you're like, soup.
Sure you do.
You're like, okay, cold water.
Alright, guys.
Well,
okay, so decide for yourselves. Is the ocean soup?
leave a comment. Oh no,
Ah.
this is classified information. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscribe, and think rationally and don't believe the ocean is a soup, like a sheep. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week.
I hope your girlfriends all make you sandwiches. And, oh wow, this is getting... I was gonna... Anyways, you guys have an
Most
awesome
of you probably
week.
don't have girlfriends.
Get the brisket
Bunch of
before
losers.
it goes out of season.
If you watch this by then.
If you watch this by then.
Get some brisket, because we all know you can't get a girlfriend.
Oh, dang.
Amen. Dap me up.
Amen, brother.
Why'd you dap me up with your left hand?
I was there and adjusted with.
Wait, that's not... Oh, you adjusted with that hand? Okay.
No, it was this hand.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Alright, bros.
So,
See you later,
subscribe.
alligator.
Haha. Oh,
Bye.
How do we end the video?
Catch you next time on
Control-
the Bad
wait, no,
Content
shift 1.
podcast.
All right.
No,
catch-
shift 2. Goodbye.